And then, of course, from there, it's the bandwagon effect. You don't want to be the person who didn't see the manatee in the river. Like, there's just no shot. If you're that person, you're just lame. So, of course, nobody's going to admit that they're that person.
Nope, they all saw the manatee.
We even got the raft guide in on it to help us.
Oh, my gosh,
and
really?
So, yeah, and everybody was like, was there really a manatee? It's like, I saw something. There was nothing. They didn't see anything. I saw something. Was it a manatee? Welcome to Her Talks, the podcast for Marshall students by Marshall students. I'm Luke Jeffrey.
I'm Ashley McClure.
And have you heard? Staycations. Spring break just isn't for everybody, and if you didn't like our advice last week of where you could go to avoid the hot spots, staycations are a perfect alternative. I mean, some people would just rather sleep in their own bed, bathe in their own shower, and not worry about why the hotel pillow is sticky.
Ew.
Yeah.
In the famous words of Sam Hunt, if you're going to be a homebody, we're going to have a house party.
That's right. Vacations are just kind of overrated. Staycations and daycations for the win. We love a one-day road trip, come back and, again, sleep in your own bed. But there is a new rating out from Consumer Reports.
Really?
That if you take a car on a day trip, not many people like to take their own, so you rent one. If you're taking a car, though, do not rent a Tesla.
Why?
There have been so many complaints about the smell. They just say they have kind of an Elon Musk to them.
Okay. I got to give you that one. That was a really good one. That has got to be my favorite.
I'll take it.
Elon Musk. Okay. So our first day trip is Fayetteville, West Virginia. So for this one, we have the New River Gorge, and this is like a hot spot for photography. You have the bridge walk tour, hiking, and then a half an hour away, you have the mystery hole.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. And then you also have horseback riding.
Yeah. Now, I will say, I've done almost all of those except for the hiking, which, shout out to our producer, Maddie. Say hi, Maddie.
Hey.
She actually told us about the hiking because she is a Beckley native, so she's been around the block of Fayetteville. But I've done almost everything on that list, and the mystery hole by far standds out the most to me. It is it is an absolute core memory. If you have not been to the mystery hole, you have to go one weekend.
I was telling her that it was like your initiation to being from West Virginia, you know?
Yeah, I mean, especially the southern parts, just, it's so worth it. It is so
It's
worth
you know
it.
how Tudors is so popular? It's like Tudors, the mystery hole.
Yeah, it's so special. But I've made another core memory recently at the New River Gorge.
Okay.
So the last time I went rafting there, I went with a trip. We went with the Jaegers. And so every year they bring in the new class. It's like the freshmen and sophomores, and they go on they call it the Jaeger retreat. And so we went to the New River Gorge, and we went rafting, and it's supposed to be like team building and everything. So, but by this point, we already kind of have been around each other. We had a group chat, so everybody was kind of familiar.
Yeah.
Well, I got in a raft with all of the guys.
Okay.
And when we got in there, we decided that, and it's like a 4-hour trip, and we decided this at the beginning, that before the end, we would convince everybody that there was a manatee in the New River.
A manatee in the New River.
Yes. And
oh my gosh.
So we it was so methodically planned out, and I would expect nothing less from all of these kids that
Jaegers.
They're supposed to be the super smart and sophisticated. And what do we use our intellect for?
The manatee.
Convincing people there's a manatee. So we planned out on the drive up there. We would have all these people in one boat, and we secretly planted one person in another raft. And at the end of the trip, or at some point random, one boat with all the people would talk about how they saw a manatee and scream and point in the water. And then the one person planted would scream that they saw it and get their entire boat to look.
Oh, gosh.
And then, of course, from there, it's the bandwagon effect. You don't want to be the person who didn't see the manatee in the river. There's just no shot. If you're that person, you're just lame. So, of course, nobody's going to admit that they're that person.
Nope, they all saw the manatee.
We even got the raft guide in on it to help us.
Oh, my gosh,
and
really?
So, and everybody was like, was there really a manatee? It's like, I saw something. There was nothing. They didn't see anything. I saw something. Was it a manatee? And the raft guide was like, yeah, they come up here in the fall sometimes. It gets a little too cold in the northern parts, so they come down here.
Oh, my gosh.
And it was amazing. We had like 10 to 15 people convinced. And then some stickler at the end was like, actually, they can't live in this water climate. They are not native to this area, nor can they swim upriver to achieve this area of residency. It's like, man, come on, bro. Like,
good job.
manatee, whatever. But anyway, if you don't want to go see the famous manatee of the New River, then you might want to go up to Pendleton County, which, if you don't know where that's at, it's on the elbow of the eastern panhandle of West Virginia. It's about 4 hours one way from here, so it is a long drive, but a doable one. Mm-hmm. And up there, if you're kind of an outdoorsy person, they have Seneca rocks and smoke hole caverns. Now, if you don't know what those are, I just advise you to look them up because anything I say can't do justice to like the beauty and wonders of them.
Yeah, okay.
They really can't. They are just kind of a natural phenomenon. Mm-hmm. It's like rocks, but they're like this thin. Mm-hmm. And it's like spiked up. It's Mother Nature's mohawk, basically.
Mother Nature's mohawk.
Yeah, and you can take a hike on them. And the caverns, you can go in, and they have the stalagmites and stalactites and whatever, and like some drawings. And it's really cool. It makes for a really fun day trip and a little active and outdoorsy.
I'm just going to quote you on that. Mother Nature's mohawk.
Mother Nature's mohawk.
I love that.
I'll have to tweet that.
Yeah. Okay. So our next one is out of West Virginia. It's Cincinnati, Ohio. So for this one, I have a classic Kings Island because I feel like a lot of people around here, 3-hour drive, it's doable. And who doesn't love Kings Island? Come on.
Exactly.
And then the next one I have is Cincinnati Zoo, which is also awesome. I mean, I love zoos personally.
Zoos are very cool. It's a dream of mine to own a zoo when I get older.
Oh, really?
I want to buy a rehabilitative zoo.
So you're an accounting major wanting to have a zoo?
Yeah, well, I'm also an entrepreneurship major. That's kind of like my entrepreneurial side, dabbling in the little zoo. But Kings Island is definitely worth it. That's where we went on my 8th grade field trip.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Mm-hmm. It's a popular field trip, but the best part was on the drive up there. You know the 100 bottles of milk on the wall song?
You all did not do that.
3 times.
3 times?
Because it's like...
Oh, poor teachers and parents.
It was a long drive, so we made it through it about 3 times, on the way up.
I would not have... No.
It was amazing.
They'd be grabbing the earplugs.
No. If you're not into Staycations, you don't want to drive, your license is suspended from all the DUIs on campus.
Oh, my God.
Or... your only option is a Tesla and you don't want that Musk, then your other option is a staycation. There are plenty of activities that you can do at home now, especially with that internet. That's fascinating. But my top pick for if you're a nerd like me is an at-home escape room. So I mentioned last week I'm on
oh my gosh, yeah.
I have an 8 winning streak now.
8
I think.
Yeah, I mean, pretty impressive. Yep.
Yeah. So they have at-home escape rooms as well, where you can do them in your home. It's kind of like in a box. Obviously, it's not as like immersive and interactive.
Yeah.
But you still get kind of like the same brain mental challenge. So, but if you're not into that, you don't want to exercise your brain, a self-made drive-in movie. Take your car. You don't have to drive it. Mm-hmm. Pop open the trunk, put a projector in, get you some Coke in a glass bottle, mm-hmm. Pop the lid off, old-fashioned, old-timey. Sit there and watch you a movie.
Yeah, I know you can also get projectors on like Amazon and Walmart.
Yeah, they're fairly cheap too.
Yeah,
and easy to set up.
I feel like some people, if you think of projectors, like you think of like movie theater, expensive, but they're really not if you go to look at them.
Yeah.
All right, so my indoor activity or outdoor could be, it's a tea party.
Ooh.
Like, come on. Okay, so whenever like you're little, do you not just want to go have a tea party? I just think they're still cool. Like for my friend for Christmas, I got her a whole tea party set. And the set was actually from Austria. So it was authentic. So it was really cool.
Personally, I never had tea parties growing up.
Well, okay, yeah.
While my sister, I feel like she had tea parties. Mm-hmm. But I was too busy tying my G.I. Joe figures on a string and throwing them down the steps.
I mean...
That was my form of entertainment.
Did you ever have like the little guys when you throw them off like the stairs?
Parachutes?
The parachutes? Yeah, those are cool.
I still have them.
You still have them?
They are in my drawer in my bedroom. But I mean, I would consider a tea party. I could see myself calling up like some buddies and be like, listen,
I have an
tomorrow
idea.
at 3:00, tea party. And we all
Do you
roll
think
in
they'd
and
be
like,
down though?
I think they do it like ironically,
Mm-hmm.
but then deep down they'd enjoy it. Like everybody rolls up in these like $high suits and like the watches, and we sit down and by a fireplace and we start out like, oh, good evening, sir. How are you? Like making fun of it, but by the end we're like actually enjoying ourselves. That's definitely how it'd go.
I mean, come on, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, almost for like a tea party, like princess dresses are almost required.
You think?
Or you bring a princess. Like if you're the princess's date.
Uh-huh.
So if I could bring a princess to my tea party, then I'd be excused. But if not, I have to wear the dress.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I almost feel like it's a rule. It's tea parties are for princesses. Like,
sure, go ahead, Princess Luke.
no, I'm the prince. I can get a princess. Got him on speed dial.
Oh my.
Well, Ashley, I forgot to email Brad this week. Maybe he's interested in a tea party, but if not,
Brad interested at a tea party. Oh my gosh.
President Smith still has not made his appearance as a co-host. Maybe we do the tea party on here, then he'll come.
I mean, I'd be down for that, yeah.
I don't know, maybe. We'll see.
I
We'll
mean,
see.
my spot might be replaced, but seeing Brad Smith have a tea party,
Yes,
I mean,
yeah.
that's pretty cool.
I thought that'd be amazing. It's on my to-do list to send him a message this week. You know, he's been busy. I've been busy.
I'm sure.
We're busy guys. 2 peas in a pod. You know how it is.
You know, the homies.
But eventually I'll get in touch with him. If you missed last week's episode, be sure to go check that out. You can look in the description of wherever you're listening to or watching this. Yes, I said watching. We're on YouTube as well. You can go find that in the link I just mentioned. You can also find all of our socials and directories, so you can follow us, subscribe to us, whichever one it is, and make sure that there's nothing you haven't heard on campus.
See ya.
Do you think Brad's a vacation or staycation guy?
I mean, I think that he's one to go on vacations. I feel like he's one to travel.
I don't know. I think he probably enjoys a nice staycation every once in a while.
I think everyone does.
Oh yeah, it's necessary.